All right, so some examples. We're going to start with find the inverse of the matrix. So these are all 2 by 2s, so we're going to do a couple of them. Number 4, we have the matrix -2, 3, -3, 4. So I'm going to leave the formula there handy. So if I'm taking the inverse of it, so if you want to just write the little -1 at the top, that way you know you're taking the inverse, but you don't have to. So we have 1 over the determinant of A, so 1 over AD, so -2 times 4, so that's -8, minus BC, so 3 times -3 is -9, but it's minus, so plus 9. And then we're going to swap, so this is going to become, I usually like to do my diagonal first and flip those, and then I fill in the other one. So 4 and -2 on the diagonal getting flopped or flipped, whatever, and then changing the sign on the 3. So the top right one is going to become -3, the bottom left one is just going to become +3. So then we've got 1 over -8 plus 9, so that's just 1 over 1, or 1. So in this case, our final answer is just the matrix 4, -3, 3, -2. Now, if this had been anything else, okay, like 1 over 3, we would have multiplied by the scalar 1/3 across the matrix. Okay, that's how you get your final answer.
Wait, how come the fraction didn't come out into the final column?
Because this just ended up being 1 over 1.
Oh.
So we didn't have to do anything. If it had been anything else, that we would have.
Oh.
And I will say, these answers aren't always pretty. Sometimes the answers end up being fractions just because of the nature of them. If they're improper, you can leave them, but you do need to reduce as much as possible. So, let's see. Number 6. We have the matrix -7, -9, 2, 3. So I'm taking the inverse of it. So I have 1 over AD, so -7 times 3, so -21, minus, which is 2 times -9, so that's going to be plus 18. And then times the matrix, so we swap the diagonal, so 3 and -7 are getting swapped. And then we change the sign on the -9, it becomes positive. +2 becomes -2. And so if you want to like save a step of writing instead of having to be like, oh, this is the fraction times the matrix and then going through and multiplying it, if you just want to rewrite like right under it what this is to multiply by, you can do that too. Or even if you want to write in a different color so you see it. So 1 over -21 plus 18, so that's 1 over -3. So then I multiply that through, so -1/3 times 3 is -1. -1/3 times 9 is -3. -1/3 times -2 is positive 2/3. And then -7 times -1/3 is 7 over 3. So you can just leave it like that then. All right, I would like you to try this next one on your own for a minute. See if you got the formula down. So it's the matrix 6, -22, -12, 20. So work through, find the inverse of that one. And I will tell you, your answer is going to look weird.
Yep.
So, same process. Don't let that throw you off. But
You forgot the little -1 thing that shows you that you're doing the inverse.
you don't have to put that. I said that was optional.
The message was that.
I don't normally write it. I just wrote it so that you would see what it would look like when you go do it on your calculator. I mean, as long as you like work it by hand,
Yeah.
but yeah, still like multiply the numbers. Yeah, that's fine.
I did too, but I went broke, so. Just really hoping this was charged right. Oh, there's no way. I'm gonna get a big fraction too. I'm about to.
I got a really small fraction.
Oh yeah, but like a big.
Okay, he's.
Is only like
Funny guy.
8 a.m. Josh. I don't do that right now.
It's a lot closer to 9, 4 minutes away.
Okay, great. How'd you get that? Because the 6 times the 1 over 144. Oh, you're doing that one? No, maybe you did something. Oh, shoot. I mixed up that. Oh my gosh. Wait, how do you multiply a fraction again?
You press buttons.
No, like
Press
on my
buttons.
calculator.
Alpha, F1. You press alpha and
Are
then
you
F1 and then. Is this the thing you want?
Maybe, I think. Wait. Are you dividing 20 by something? No, I'm dividing, what am I doing? Josh, can you
Hold on.
I feel like that's much
So you need to figure out how to put it into a proper fraction.
How do you do it though? Like on a calculator?
You don't do it on the calculator.
Did it give you a decimal? So if you hit, hold on, I have to see exactly what it is. So on your calculator, once you have a decimal, if you hit math, it's on the left side. If you hit that, you'll see a little thing that's got a little triangle, and then it says frac. If you hit that and then hit enter, it'll change a decimal to a fraction.
Okay.
And then the one that says the little, I'm gonna say dart frac if I say it, because that's, I don't know, that's what Mr. Cass always said. But that, if you hit that, if it gives you a fraction, you want the decimal, it'll do that. Now, I mean, because sometimes your calculator will be in a mode where it'll give you everything in fractions, and you're like, I need the decimal, like just. So, anyways, you just hit that if it happens.
Okay.
Usually, you're wanting the fraction rather than the decimal, but sometimes the calculator gets a little confused.
No. No. This is not okay.
Just realized this
Fine,
bullet
it
doesn't
doesn't
say
say
straight.
Let's go. I think how we all have just stared at a dot. I think how we all just I can see the most amazing thing ever. I could probably stop it. I could not. Or not all of it, but this particular one. Oh, okay.
It's just faster with the calculator.
I'm hoping your weird answer looks like my weird answer.
What is your
Yeah, I hope so too.
They're all fractions,
Yeah, they
yeah, I
are.
got that. I got that.
and they're all negative.
Good.
No, they are. Are they? No, they aren't.
Yes, they are.
Oh, because that.
Oh,
I
yeah.
forgot negative.
I forgot the negative. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh dear.
Positive. I know, me too. I was like, oh, opposite side. That came up real quick. Alright. I'm ready for my. I think I'm ready. I don't know. That was like a weird answer.
Hold on.
Yay.
That's what I got. Yes. Let's go.
If you're ever in doubt if you did it right, you can always multiply this matrix by this matrix and check, and it should give you that 1, 0, 0, 1 thing. We'll do that with the next problem. We're not going to do that with these ones, but all right. So the next ones are the 3x3s, and it wants us to find the inverse using a calculator because, like I said, that would be completely miserable to do any other way. So number 20. Since we're doing it on the calculator, I'm only going to do one of them. But matrix A is going to be 1, 0, 2, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 4. So to denote that I'm doing it on the calculator, I'm going to show matrix A with a little -1 because that's how we're going to type it into our calculator. So you're going to put this matrix in your calculator just like you normally would. And then
Very low. Very low.
Oh my god.
so then when you do that, there's a little -1 button if you didn't find it already. It's right under the matrix. Now, don't put the decimals, change it. So hit the math, the dart frac thing, and it'll change them all to fractions for you. Okay, that's what I want. I don't want decimals. Don't clear that once you're done. Leave that on your screen. I'm going to show you what to do from there.
Okay, cool. Making sure I did it right. Hoping I did it right.
Now, they want you to verify that A times A inverse is equal to the identity matrix and vice versa. That would be miserable to do by hand, so we're going to store that. So you're looking for, just in case you don't remember from the other day, the STO button here at the bottom. Store, so we're storing this matrix, and then you need to pull up another matrix, so second matrix, and just don't choose A. So I'm just going to put it in B. So I'm storing that matrix in matrix B. And then I'm just going to show that as long as you actually check it, I don't care that you actually write out the identity matrix. Just when you do your matrix A times, well, your inverse matrix or matrix B, just make sure that you indicate that it did give you the identity so that I see that you checked it. But you don't need to go write out 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. Like, that would just get tedious. You can just write that you checked it. So then do the reverse. Still got the identity, so we're good.
So why did we store it?
So that we could check it. Because this was our inverse matrix.
Oh.
So we needed to store this. So when I actually type it in, I have matrix A times matrix B. B being A inverse.
Okay.
So then I'm writing it like B times A. That's why we do that. Yeah. Sorry, definitely should have clarified that.
So would the A with the -1 on it be the oh yes.
It's technically
I
B,
just
yeah.
said that.
Yeah. Now, if you were to just type it in as A, matrix A times matrix A raised to the -1, it may still work, but sometimes your calculator gets a little confused about the order of things. So it may multiply a times a and then take the inverse, which would not do anything for you. I don't think it will do that, but I would say since you have to write this first, I would just do that and then store it. And not that you can't do it the other way, but. So are we okay with the calculator? It's pretty much the same thing we've been doing, just hitting the -1 thing. There'll be a couple of them for you to do in the... So the next thing that we're going to do is solving the 3 equations and 3 unknowns. Okay, so this is going to be a calculator command that's going to do it for you. So I'm going to set up the problem that we're going to do. So number 36, we have the system -3x plus y minus 8z is equal to 18. And make sure that the order is lined up. So if you end up with one where the letters are out of order, you've got to make sure you put them in the right order. Okay. Let's see then. X minus 2y plus z equals -11. And then 2x minus 2y plus 5z equals -17. I don't know what's going on in there. All right, so we set up what we call an augmented matrix. Okay, you don't have to know that term, just know that that's what we're going to do. So when we set that up, we're taking only the numbers in order in our equation. Okay, so that's why I said it has to be in order. So we're going to have an x column, a y column, a z column, and then an answer column. Okay, if a term is missing, okay, so if one of them was missing a y, where that should have been in that equation, we have to put a 0. Okay, so we copy down the numbers, so -3, 1, -8, 18, 1, -2, 1, -11, 2, -2, 5, -17. And a lot of times you'll see it with the ... Okay, that just is symbolizing that the answer column is to the right. If you don't have that, it's not like it's wrong. It's just the way we typically would note it. So you're probably thinking, well, what in the world am I going to do to give me the answer? Because we're trying to find our order triple that solves this equation. So your calculator has this beautiful thing called row reduced echelon form, or RREF for short. And then this is where we're going to put that matrix in. Okay, so in your calculator, you're typing this in, so you've got a 3x4 matrix. So after you have that, you hit your second matrix, you go over to math, okay, it's the second option. Then you're going down until you see RREF. Now notice right above RREF is just REF. REF will not solve it for you. It's got to be RREF, okay? So you're going to hit that, and then the matrix that you're using. You're so loud.
I'm concerned about the husband being the cousin.
West Virginia.
That's what I'm concerned about.
So this is your, oh, sorry, you can't see it. Anyway, this is your answer, so you would copy this down, or this is, I should say, your row reduced echelon form of your matrix. So it's 1, 0, 0, -2, 0, 1, 0, 4, 0, 0, 1, negative 1. Now notice, if we ignore the column with our answers, that's an identity matrix. Okay, this is telling you that x, okay, because remember this was my x column, y and z, x is equal to negative 2. Y is equal to 4. And z is equal to negative 1. So my ordered triple that solves this is negative 2, 4, negative 1.
And if it didn't come out with like the identity thing, would it be like not a solution?
You shouldn't have any that do that, but yes, that is what would happen.
Yeah, sure.
Do y'all want to see another one of these? Are we okay? Okay. Yeah, the biggest thing is just make sure that these line up. Okay, and yes, if you don't have that, make sure, first of all, that you used RREF. Because sometimes people come up to me and say, this isn't right. And it's like, what function did you use? They'll write the right one on their paper, then click the wrong one on the calculator. So always check. And then make sure your answer, for it to be completely right, has to be written as an ordered triple. Okay, if you didn't, I wrote this here just for you to see it if you refer back. You do not have to write this. You could have gone straight from here to here. Okay, but always write what you get off your calculator, because then if there is an issue, I can see, oh, they copied it down wrong, or, that was the problem, or they didn't have the right, letters lined up or whatever. The biggest mistake that I see with these is not filling in the 0 if a term is missing. So like if it was just x plus 3z, you've got to put in a 0 for y where that was. Anyways, okay. So your problems, and for 1 it's Wednesday, for 2 this is the last section in the chapter, and 3 there's only 5 minutes left. So tomorrow you will be able to work on these. You do not need to do them tonight. You don't even really need to start them right now unless you're just dying to. 5 and 7 are to be done by hand. And then 19, 35, and 39 are to be done on a calculator. They are the inverse of a 3 by 3, and then the solving the equation. So I may have kind of mentioned it the other day, but I tend to, when you get to the test, I will still have you a lot of times solve a 3 by 3, or not a 3 by 3, but 3 equations, 3 unknown by hand. And then a lot of times what I will do is on the calculator portion of the test, I will give you the same problem and ask you to do it on your calculator. Okay. Sometimes if I don't give it to you on the by hand part, then on the calculator part, I will say solve this using a calculator. And then I will say, if you also show by hand, you get a bonus point or 2 bonus points or something, depending on what's built into the test.